Hey, Kayla, what's going on?
I recently brought up charges against my cousin for repeatedly sexually abusing me 32 years ago.
Okay, so what brought you to this decision?
Well,
hold on. Let me stop for a second. I should have said this before that. You're brave. You're a lion, and I'm proud to know you, Kayla. Okay.
Well, I appreciate it. I had to do it. It was something I had to do to protect other girls.
Good for you, man. That's hard stuff, and that choice is yours, and I'm proud of you for making the choice that was right for you. All right, so now tell me about what it's been like.
Okay, so he repeatedly sexually abused me when I was 5 years old in 1988, and I never told anybody until I was 12 years old. I told my mom and dad. But my entire family, they all knew about it, but they just swept it under the rug, pretending nothing ever happened, nothing. Well, fast forward about 20 years, and 15, 20 years, he got charged 10 years ago for sexually abusing his stepdaughter, and he only did 6 months in jail and was released. Well, 3 years ago, he got charged for doing it to his biological daughter, but the charges got dismissed because she was afraid to testify on the stand against him. Well, when I read the article 2 years ago about that, and I found out that he'd been charged for doing it to his biological daughter too, I just snapped, and I had to come forward and tell my story to an investigator because somebody needed to stand up against him. And that's what I did, and he picked up multiple charges of first-degree felonies, and he's been sitting in jail for a year and a half awaiting trial. But this has caused a big can of worms to open in my family, especially with his mother, who's my aunt, and his sisters, who are my cousins. They hate my guts now. They refuse to talk to me.
Hey, you know what, Kayla?
They think it's ridiculous.
They're not worth the air you breathe. They're not worth the air you breathe. Your parents left you as a child high and dry. There's predators and pieces of crap everywhere. That's life. It sucks, but that's life. And we do what we can to keep them off the streets. That's why we have parents. That's why we have cousins. That's why we have aunts and uncles. That's why we have friends and community members and church members and people who've got our backs. And yours let you down. And so how dare they circle back and try to roll this over on you? No.
So then I just, should I just just have it, they're out of my life for good?
Not by your hand.
And just leave it that way?
They walked away from you.
Come to grips with it?
Kayla, they walked away from you.
Right.
They chose a child molester over somebody who was injured, somebody who was hurt.
For years.
Yes.
And they did it for years. And then it caused other girls to get hurt.
Yes. You don't want to associate with them anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I wish I could conk them over the head so they have some common sense.
Listen, you can't. They're not going to. They're never going to. Anybody's going to stand up for a repeat child molester is not something that you can solve. Right? You dust your dirt off your sandals and you walk out. And I know that's heartbreaking and that's lonely, not because of them per se, but because now you're lonely. Now there's consequences to your boundaries, and that's hard, and I get that. But I'm just telling you, as a dad of a daughter, thank you for being bold and brave and strong, even though it was 20 years. Thank you. Thank you for keeping that piece of garbage off the street.
And that's, once my daughter turned 5, that's when this all opened up inside me that I couldn't stop anymore. I had to do something.
That's exactly right. Him. Your body's alarms go off because it sees you walking right in front of it, right? Every morning at breakfast time, it sees it, right?
Yeah.
So
do you have any advice for me? What would be the best? What should I do to? This is going a giant step towards healing of him finally being in jail and being off the streets, and hopefully he gets convicted and does a long, long time.
Yeah.
But what advice do you have for me to fully heal from this?
So I'm going to give you a comment about the jail part. that I testified against somebody in jail once that had committed a crime, and they got a lot of it was a pretty ugly crime, and they got a lot of jail time. And I called a friend of mine. She's a mentor of mine. She's a psychologist who works with abused kids. And when the verdict was read the next day, I felt sick. And I thought I would feel awesome. Like, yeah, that's what's up. And I felt gross. I felt terrible, like just gross. And I called her and said, I don't understand these feelings. And she said, John, nobody wins. Everybody's life is destroyed with childhood sexual abuse. Everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And so there will be a level of safety to where, hey, this person can't get to me anymore, and that's real and good. And there might be that cheery, like, yeah, moment if there's a verdict that comes down. But I don't want you to think you're going to feel good.
Well, I haven't felt great through the whole process.
The whole thing is awful, right? And so here's the first question, and this is an important question, and I'm asking this because I love you, not as a way of poking, okay? And there's times that this question gets asked and people can weaponize the way they ask this, and I'm not doing that, okay? I'm with you on this conversation, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready to be done with this? And before you answer, here's what I mean. When we hang on, when we loop the story, when we hang on to it tight, it feels like protection. It feels like hypervigilance. It feels like nobody's going to ever get me again. I'll be damned if I'm going to let that happen. No one's coming for me. No one's going to, and if they do, there's going to be hell to pay, right? It feels like this stressed, alert, vigilant, like I am protecting myself. I'm protecting my daughter. And that keeps you alive now, and it kills you tomorrow. That level of stress circulation, that level of vigilance, always on, wears out your adrenaline and your cortisol. It just slowly grinds your body down. And so when I ask you, are you ready to be done? That means not, I'm ready to just go have an abusive situation again. No. Are you ready to stop carrying this guy in your backpack? This brick?
Yes. I'm ready to stop carrying it. And the 5-year-old inside of me had to come forward and get some justice to finish it off.
And now I want her to be able to go be a 5-year-old, right? Right? And I want you to be able to raise was she 6, 7, 8, 9 now? Your daughter. And let her have the fun, joyful, like learn how to be a strong, powerful woman like her mom. I want her to be able to like have that world, right? And so here's a couple of things you can do to help. To heal, right? Number one, real important, is to become aware of your body's response, the physical part of it, and learn to honor it and let it complete the cycles, right? And that's from Emily Nagotsky's new work. I love it. But it's this idea of when you feel your heart start racing, when you feel those thoughts start looping on you, when your hands get whatever it is that you feel, right? When you're in the presence of somebody, a guy that makes you feel uncomfortable, when you find yourself here or there, you remember, when that kicks in, right? Mm-hmm. When you notice that and begin to honor that, oh, here it goes, man. My body's trying to protect me. And you can slowly distance yourself from it. Not as a thing that you are, but it's just a thing that's happening in your body. And then you can begin to ask, hey, what's it trying to protect me from? Oh, that guy's safe. He's all right. I know that guy. He's goofy and he's silly and his jeans are way too tight and he's got a mustache, but I like that guy, right? So it's becoming aware of how your body's responding, right? And then when it does take off on you, do you have anxiety attacks or panic attacks, or do you have moments of rage? Like what's still, how does it emerge in your body this many years later?
I'm not really anxiety or rage.
Okay.
Like I think I'm past all that because so many years. But I've just been wanting it to be like I feel like it's hard to explain. I just feel like the little girl that was inside of me that happened to, the 5-year-old, she needs to be heard.
Yeah.
And she needs somebody to listen.
Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. Will you do me this favor? I want you to write that 5-year-old girl a letter. And I want you to write her 3 letters, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Letter number 1 is going to be the letter from your parents, what they should have said. Okay?
Okay.
And I want you to write a letter from you to her, letting her know that what happened's not okay. And that you're so sorry that nobody protected her when they should have, but now you're going to.
Okay.
And then the 3rd letter is, I want you to write her a letter letting her know who you're going to become, how you're going to make meaning of this many years later. What kind of mom you're going to be, what kind of professional you're going to be, what kind of community and neighbor you're going to be. And then at the end of that letter,
sounds like a good idea.
I want you to let that girl go. I want you to let her go. Go play.
Okay.
Okay.
I really appreciate you talking to me.
No, I appreciate you calling. And here's are you married now?
Yeah, I just recently got married.
Okay.
And I'm pregnant with my 4th baby.
Hey, there you go. 'Cause 4th, man. Whew, you're a bad mamma jamma. All right. Here's what I want you to do, and this is going to be a bold step for you, okay? This new guy, he's all right?
Oh, he's wonderful.
Okay. So here is the evil. Beyond the evil, there's 18 layers of evil with childhood abuse. 18 layers of just, it's why it rages through family, lineages for years. Mm-hmm. It's because the only thing that keeps a person well and whole and sane and alive is vulnerable connection to other people. And childhood sexual abuse particularly tells a child that safe relationships don't exist. And in fact, relationship is the core of the worst pain you can experience. And so what you're going to have to do at as a about to be mama of 4 is you're going to have to learn how to be in relationship, how to roll over and expose your belly again, be vulnerable again, and risk getting hurt again, because that's the only way you're going to be fully vested with this new knucklehead you just married. And what you're going to have, and here's the thing.
That makes sense.
It's scary and it's hard. And here's the thing I want you to hear me say. You got to practice it. It's something you learn how to do. We think we just know how to do relationships. We don't. We all suck at it, bro. We're terrible. And so if you go into it saying, hey, honey, we're going to take dancing lessons, or we're going to learn how to build a cabinet. We're going to go to this little class at the YMCA and learn how to build a cabinet. That's what you're doing. But I want you to tell them, I want to be so plugged in with you. And that starts with me learning how to heal, with me saying, I'm never carrying this dude's crap for another second. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to write the letters and let this 5-year-old girl go be. And then, Bubba, you don't even know what's coming for you, right? I'm going to love you in a way that you ain't ever been loved, and I'm going to expect you to love me back that way. And that's just something we're going to have to practice and learn together, right?
No, that sounds great. And we both deserve it.
You do, Kayla. You super do. What's his name?
Trent.
Kayla and Trent. That just sounds romantic. Kayla and Trent, both of you deserve it. And my heart tells me you're just going to have to learn it. And that's okay. And that's so good. You can be 70 and be like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do vulnerable connection, because I'm going to have the last 20 years of my life be intertwined with other people. Good for you, Kayla. Good for you. You are a brave, powerful lion, cheetah, awesome stud woman. I'm so proud of you. And I can't wait to hear how this goes. Let me know how it goes after you write those letters. Let me know what kind of relationship counseling you get into. You and Trent, Big T. And let us know when that 4th baby's born, and we'll celebrate here on the show. Thank you so much for your call, Kayla, and thanks for being brave.